In this video, I'm going to talk about interval walking, a workout for everyone regardless of fitness level. It's free, it's easy, and it's effective. This simple method improves conditions like hypertension, diabetes, and even can help with cardiac rehabilitation. Plus, it's a natural mood booster, great for tackling depression and getting better sleep. Stick around to see why interval walking training is one of the most effective ways to get fit in less time and with better results than the traditional 10,000 steps challenge. I'll break down what interval walking is, why it's so effective, and how you can fit it into your life fast. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Pavel, an anthropologist by trade, and I've got absolutely no business dispensing fitness advice. Oh, and I also like to annoy meatheads, one video at a time. In my last video, I talked about high-intensity exercise and how heart rate variability plays a key role in getting fit. It's all about alternating between higher and lower heart rates, exactly what the Tabata protocol is built around. If you wanted a full scoop on that, go and check out that video for more details. I'm going to put the link in the description as well. But I get it. Not everyone wants to or should jump into the high-intensity game. I know I wouldn't recommend it to, say, my mother. When it comes to fitness, everyone seems to focus on the magic 10,000 steps. But the Japanese have taken a different approach. They've developed a method based on protocols used for elite athletes, and I bet you'll recognize the echoes of Tabata as I walk you through this. It's called interval walking, and it's as simple as alternating between a leisurely stroll and a faster pace that gets you a little bit out of breath. Unlike Tabata, where you've got the good, the bad, and the ugly, because reaching 170% VO2 max is no joke, interval walking is just good, good, and more good. For example, the interval walking group saw a 4 times bigger drop in systolic blood pressure by 7 millimeters of mercury compared to the 10,000 steps group. Just to recap, systolic blood pressure is the top number in your reading. It's the force your heart exerts when pumping blood. If this number is high, it means your heart is working harder than it should, which can put stress on your arteries and increase your risk of heart disease or stroke. About half of American adults have high blood pressure, and it's a global problem. By the way, if you like this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps with the algorithm. You can also share it with someone like my mother or yours. But it doesn't stop there. Diastolic blood pressure, the bottom number in your reading, which shows how relaxed your blood vessels are when your heart is resting, dropped 2.4 times more in the interval walking group by 3 millimeters than in the 10,000 steps group. And these results came after just 5 months. Imagine the impact if you could keep this up for 5 years. You'd be slashing your risk of stroke by 40%. And here is another perk. Interval walking lowered what's politely called the depression index by 50%. People felt a lot less depressed and their sleep also improved. Isn't that something worth considering? With these kinds of results, it's clear that a little effort, when done right, can go a long way. But wait, there is more! I feel like I'm selling a set of knives on late-night TV in the 90s. Jokes aside, compared to the 10,000 steps group, interval walkers saw a 12% greater increase in hamstring strength and a 10% larger improvement in peak oxygen uptake, VO2 max. Now that's some serious progress. So yes, you can follow the DSY principle, you know the one, and still make big improvements. The likely reason behind these results? It's simple. 10,000 steps don't challenge your body enough to trigger the kind of benefits we'd like to see. Let me just point out that this isn't based on some one-off study with a handful of participants. The team at Shinshu University has been gathering data from over 10,000 people. These findings keep supporting the results of the original pilot study, which involved 246 participants split into 3 groups. One that did no exercise, one that followed the 10,000 steps routine, and one that did interval walking training. So how to do it? The protocol was developed by Professors Noze Hiroshi and Masuki Shizue of Shinshu University in Japan, and it's really simple. First, you stretch. If you don't have your own stretching routine, feel free to borrow mine. The link in the description below. 3 minutes, Boom, done. Then you start walking at your normal easy pace for 3 minutes. After that, you speed it up. Take bigger steps, strike with your heels, open up your chest, and push the pace until you're slightly out of breath. And yeah, I mean slightly. That's the key word here. They say strike with your heel, but if you're not a heel striker or you're moving away from being a heel striker, take those big steps and walk fast in your own gait. After those 3 minutes of fast walking, go back to your leisurely pace for 3 minutes. It gives you a 6 minute set. Do 5 of these sets, and that's 30-minute session done and dusted. See what I mean about the echoes of Tabata? This whole protocol came from training elite athletes, but it's been adapted so everyone can do it without, straining yourself. It's even recommended for people in their 80s. Japan's NHK World showed how older adults in their 80s are benefiting from interval walking. It has also become a huge part of cardiac rehab, letting people continue their recovery at home. They can track their progress with wearable devices. Seriously, I don't know what is it with wearable devices and why do I want to say wearable devices? And we've got even cases where people who've had serious heart incidents, like this guy, making a comeback using IWT. He regained his muscle and is looking forward to running again. And this interval walking story comes with a financial twist. It doesn't just boost your health, it can help your wallet too. The interval walking group reduced their healthcare expenses by 20% over 5 months. Now that's pretty sweet, right? If you're wondering how often you should do interval walking, here is the tip. The 5 month study I mentioned earlier, which showed all those fantastic benefits, the participants walked for 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week. And just to keep it real, they were all middle-aged or older. So if you're aiming for those impressive results, that's a solid routine to follow. Imagine that there was a pill you could take 4 times a week that would lower your blood pressure, alleviate diabetes, boost your mood, improve your sleep, and even cut your healthcare costs by 20%. You'd take it, right? Now, while this isn't a pill, it's something you need to actively do and exert yourself a bit, but it truly works. The Japanese have recognized just how effective interval walking training can be, and they are integrating it into their healthcare system. For instance, a pilot program at Shinshu University now includes basic interval walking instructions along with diabetes prescriptions at pharmacies. Take, for example, a woman with diabetes who never been much of an athlete. She found the interval walking protocol surprisingly easy to follow and is experiencing real benefits. It's about treating the whole person, not just the condition. And the best part is, this approach is accessible to everyone and can be a powerful complement to traditional medical treatments. I can't help but dive into my anthropological musings about society here. If this isn't your cup of tea, feel free to skip ahead to the next chapter. That's what chapter markers are for, right? In a world obsessed with health, it's striking how sick we actually are. In America, the wealthiest nation on earth, 60% of adults grapple with chronic conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, and over 40% juggle multiple ailments. Nearly 70% of Americans rely on at least one prescription drug, with more than half taking two or more. The rest of the world is catching up fast. While America represents the present, Japan offers a glimpse into a more hopeful future. Their proactive strategies, including interval walking, reflect a commendable effort to support their vulnerable populations in meaningful ways. Japan's innovative approach to dementia care involves entire communities in helping individuals rather than isolating or restricting them, an approach that's both humane and effective. We could certainly learn from Japan. Imagine a future where, alongside receiving a prescription for a health condition, you also get personalized guidance on exercises that can enhance your well being. Such a model would integrate medical care with practical everyday solutions that acknowledges the interconnection between physical activity and overall wellness. This kind of integration could transform how we view and manage our health. Now, some more practical takeaways. Even if this method doesn't seem necessary for you right now, maybe you're super fit or are already committed to your routine, it could still be useful for someone you know. Take my mother, for instance. She's not the one for grueling exercise, but this method offers her a way to get more benefits in less time. And here is another scenario. You might find yourself in trouble one day, just like I did after battling long COVID. When you're so weak that you don't even know where to start your recovery, this technique can be a lifesaver. It's an excellent starting point for anyone recovering from an illness, injury, or any health setback. Think of it as another tool in your fitness toolbox, a versatile, low-impact method you can rely on when you need a manageable, effective way to regain strength and health. Well, thank you for listening and watching. Stay safe out there, and I see you next time. Bye!